Okay, my name's Alex Owens. This is going to be performing the task of a modified Robert Jones with a meta splint. And I have my tape I've already cut here for my stirrups, my roll gauze, my cast padding for our cushion and our tape. I have our scissors and our splint that we need. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is put one piece of tape cranial and then one piece of tape caudal, and I'm going to attach that with our stirrup at the end. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and put our caudal piece down too. Okay. So now that I have that, probably too much, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and do our cushion part of it, and we're going to do our cast padding. We want to roll distal to proximal, so once I get to the top, I'm probably going to go ahead and just cut it and start again just to get a little extra padding in there. I'm going 50% across the bandage that I've already put down, and then 50% on the actual skin of the animal. All the way up. Tuck it right there. I'm going to go ahead and do another layer just to kind of get a little bit of extra padding on there. And again, I'm doing 50% on the dog and then 50% on the bandage that I was doing. Now that that's good, we're going to go ahead and apply our roll gauze now over the cast padding that we just did. And we're just doing that for a little extra support to kind of keep everything not too tight, but at least to where it actually stays together. So we're going to do that. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to wrap this little proximal. I'm going to go ahead and cut that now that we've gotten all the way up. Now I've left enough space at the toes down here. You can't really see it. I would have to turn them all the way. But I've left area for the toes so that we can indicate any swelling that might go on, or that has already gone on that we haven't been able to see because of the rest of it, but we'll at least see it down here. And then, let me tuck that so it's easier. Make a little tab for ourselves. So let me take this off. No. Okay. Now I'm going to take my stirrups off, or my stirrup at least. So I'm going to go ahead and take them off one at a time. And I'm going to use kind of a twisting motion to kind of get this to stay onto this. And what I'm doing is reducing mobility, because we don't want this to just slide off, and we don't want the dog to be able to move completely either. So I'll go ahead and take this off one by one. I'm just going to do a little twisting motion and actually take this back onto the bandage itself. take our splint, and we're going to go ahead and put here. We're going to go ahead and wrap proximal distal with the Coflex that we have, and we'll use waterproof tape so that, because we want it to stay nice and clean and dry. I'm gonna go grab some Coflex real quick. That was the one thing I didn't grab. I'm just going to do the same thing all the way up. I'm actually going to go around the end of the splint because it is a little long, but we'll just go ahead and do it that way. And I'm making sure not to get this tight at all because Coflex can get pretty tight when it comes to when it actually gets hot or if it actually gets messed with. So we're going to do that for all the way up. Tab here. Okay. So now that we've done that, we're going to want to put tape on it to make sure it's secure. And I'm going to use the end of this guy right here. We're going to do one at the top also, so we can go ahead and make sure that we have our date and everything, so we know when to change it again. Let's go. Go ahead and write my initials, the date that we actually applied the bandage in the splint, so they know when it needs to be taken off and how many, or when it actually needs to be changed out, so that we can reassess and reevaluate what we need to do. So now that we've done that, I'm gonna go ahead and start by removing my tape that I have under here. If I can find my crease, and we're just gonna remove each layer one by one, assessing and reevaluating all the way through if we have any foul smells, if we have any excretions that are actually coming from the wound or the fracture itself. So we'll go ahead and so this first layer is just my Coflex layer, which is got actually holding in the splint. I'm gonna one by one take my stirrup tape that I had on there, take this down so I can actually get to the rest of my bandage material. We'll start with the second layer. I'll just go ahead and start taking this off. So now down to our cast padding, which is our final layer. We'll go ahead and start taking this off, removing this, and we'll go ahead and, like I said before, evaluating to see if we have any discharge, if we have any foul smells, or if anything looks abnormal as we're assessing it, changing up the bandage. Go ahead and remove my stirrup tape. Okay. And that is how to do a modified Robert Jones with a Mason Metaspoon splint. Goodness.